I want to introduce Tyler Barbieri. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Hey, listen, this is really important. This guy's got. We're not going to get too technical because we're going to have to kill you if you know too much.
Not necessarily.
But Tyler has created something that's very exciting, and if all goes well, you're all going to be intricately involved with it within the year. And we're going to talk a little bit about the patent pending process and funding. So Tyler, tell us, without going into too much detail,
Okay.
tell us a little bit about what you're developing.
I've developed an idea that could transform fantasy sports into a social experience.
Okay.
So I want to build an app or a game that allows people to compete against each other in fantasy sports in a social setting, such as Arden plays.
So fantasy sports is rotisserie leagues, things like that, where you pretend you own a team and you draft players.
Exactly.
And
But it would be compressed into a day-long event. So it would only be for certain hockey games played between 7 and 10 o'clock at night, or baseball games played between 1 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you're taking a couple things that already exist and have been proven successful, and you're creating an application that's going to kind of take advantage of that. And to protect yourself, you've applied for a patent. Can you walk us through that process a little bit?
Sure. So I don't have any technical background, but I just had this idea. I know what I like, and I thought of a way to make it a little better.
That's a really important point. Okay, you had an idea, technology was involved, but you're not a technical person, but you still ran with it. So that's an important point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I invested a little bit of money, about $200, to get a provisional patent on my idea.
Okay.
I filed it through LegalZoom online. It took me an afternoon, and I submitted my patent, and it gave me a certain level of protection. So when I sought out people with technical expertise, they wouldn't be able to poach my idea.
Okay.
So I filed the patent, and it allowed me to begin the search for people who could make my idea a reality. And that's how I started to advertise online on Craigslist. I emailed business incubators. I posted on job sites, on college websites, because I don't have any capital to invest in the project. And I came across the WebSource group, and I've been working with them. They've been advising me in the process all along.
And you had that level of protection because you were very basic protection, but you did, what was it, how'd you go about doing that?
I used LegalZoom online, and so it was a step-by-step process about exactly what I needed to fill out on an application.
So the important part is you're not some kind of Blake Cornell where you know everything about computers.
No.
You just had a really great idea and you wanted to protect yourself.
You just summed it up perfectly.
All right. Talk a little bit about funding. You don't have a lot of capital to work with, but you're still progressing nicely. How are you doing that?
Well, I'm pursuing the patent application.
Okay.
And so that's providing a level of legitimacy to my project. It's trying to win people over to my vision, and I'm trying to leverage that in order to attract people with capital to my site.
And, you know, one of the interesting things about Long Island is there are a number of venture capital groups that we've briefly talked about. We can go into greater detail.
Sure.
The money's there. You just got to find it, and then you got to convince them. Are you looking forward to that process, or how far into it are you?
We're very early on in that process.
Okay.
I want to make sure I have a good level of protection before I enter it, because when you enter that arena with people who have a lot of resources, it's very easy for them to take advantage of you, or the potential is there for them to take advantage of you.
Now, how you mentioned WebSource and Blake Cornell is WebSource Industry with John Gahuli.
Yeah.
How have they been beneficial to you?
I'm not a business person. I'm an initiate. I don't know a whole lot about this. You know, I'm learning the entrepreneurial process.
Okay.
And so they've provided me with a certain level of guidance.
So if you think of yourself as a farmer and your idea as the seed, they're helping you with the tools that you need to grow this thing into a business.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. And the best part about your story is, like you said, you're a work-a-day kind of guy. You had an idea. You didn't just let it pass into the ether. You're really developing it, and you're learning as you go.
Yeah, I talked to some friends and some people I trusted about the idea, and I told them what the cost of entry was, which was the provisional patent cost of $250.
Okay.
And they told me I'd be crazy if I didn't give it a shot.
And do you have any idea what the potential market for something like this would be?
It's hard to say, but there's 41.5 million people playing fantasy sports in the United States and Canada, and it's a several billion-dollar industry. So if I could capture just a small part of that, it would be a payday I would never be able to imagine.
And you know, one of the things, to me, a great idea is the kind of idea that becomes painfully obvious once somebody thinks of it, like wheels on a suitcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Why they didn't think of that sooner while I was going to college is beyond me. But
well, you were busy doing other things, probably.
But so you're a man with an idea, you're learning as you go, you got the patent pending, and you're waiting to talk to some venture capitalists, and you're ready to rock and roll.
That's it.
Beautiful. So hopefully next year we'll have you back. You can tell us about the first million that you made.
I hope so, Michael.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.